how to get rid of headaches fast. But before we dive into that, let's discuss why you're getting the headaches in the first place. What causes headaches? First, studies were done across the board, and studies show, many studies show, that 90% of headaches are tension related. So that means that 90% of the headaches are tension related in the neck and across the shoulders, or there's maybe a misalignment in the spine that's creating that tension, right? So that's why chiropractic is so effective for headaches. But these are tips to give you so you can do these at home to get rid of your headaches. So some of the first things you want to look at to prevent headaches long term. So the tricks I'm going to give you are tips, stretches to help with the headache now, to help alleviate and get headache pain relief now. But long term, you want to fix what's causing your headaches. So some of those causes are poor ergonomics, poor computer workstation. Okay, I did a great video on how to set up your workstation, how to set up your computer desk ergonomically. Check that out. The second thing would be a really bad pillow. If you're a back sleeper, which you should be, sleeping on your back or your side, you want to make sure you have a really good pillow. And a posture pillow, an orthopedic pillow, they sometimes call it, or a cervical pillow. I did a great video also on how to pick out a great pillow and what to look for in a pillow. So definitely check out that video as well. The third thing is cell phone use. So many of us are doing this. Watch my head tilt. They're looking at our phone sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I see people on their phone all day long like this. Imagine if you just put your elbows in at your side here, where your rib cage is, and did this. Look at the difference between my head tilt here and here. Start using your cell phone like this. I went over an ergonomic pillow. If you've been to a doctor's office or a chiropractor and you've been diagnosed with military neck or hypolordosis of the cervical curve, where you've lost the curve in your neck, then make sure you get one of these. There's all sorts of these on the market. I've seen many of them on Amazon. I don't recommend those. I just recommend this company because this is the only one I've used, and they've been in the business for years, and all the other ones are basically knockoffs of this. This is called the Denneroll. I'll leave the links below. But if you've been diagnosed with a hypolordosis cervical curve or a military neck via x-ray, you want to get one of these. These come in 3 sizes. I'll write down below the height, the size, and which size Denneroll you should get, okay? And what you'll do is you'll lay on your back with your shoulders right up against here. It says shoulders this side. And you lay just like this. And you start out in the beginning 3 minutes, and you work your way up to 4 and then 5 the next day, all the way up to about 15 to 20 minutes. I do this for about 15 to 20 minutes every day because I've been in a few car accidents and had a few whiplash injuries. If you've ever had a whiplash injury, this will help improve the curve, the cervical curve, or the lordosis in your neck. Now that we've gone over what causes your headaches and how to fix those for good, so you never get headaches again, I'm going to discuss really briefly some other things. I did videos on this. These are for people that suffer from really severe headaches, chronic headaches for years and years. Sometimes these headaches last for a week or more. Severe neuralgias, occipital neuralgias, trigeminal neuralgias, facial neuralgias. So I deal with those with this unit right here. This is cold laser therapy. This is extremely effective, and you can check out again some of our other videos that we've done on headaches and cold laser therapy. And then of course you've got chiropractic care, which is extremely effective for tension headaches and cervicogenic headaches. All right, now let's dive into it. Let's go over a couple of tricks to get rid of your headaches fast. First of all, if you have a straight neck, you can lay on this for 15 minutes. And sometimes that will alleviate the headache, or at least reduce it quite a bit, okay? Number 2, the back knobber 2. Now, I don't know, they may have a back knobber 3 or 4 or even 5 by now. This thing's old, so I'm not necessarily saying you have to get the second one, but you'll figure it out. I'll leave the links below for this unit, but this unit is great to get the trigger points right up here in the trapezius and the levator scapula muscle. The levator scapula is really common, especially for people that are on the computer with their elbow out to the side on the mouse pad. And then you can even get into the trapezius, really good. And this is a really useful tool. It actually separates and you can fold it up and travel with it, put it in a smaller bag. And you can also do other points in your mid-back by doing this. And your rotator cuff muscles, you can really hit a lot of muscle groups here. And you'll find those really sensitive trigger points, and sometimes they'll shoot pain back up into the head or behind the ear. That's okay. Hold that spot firm until it dissipates or until it goes away, okay? Sometimes that can take up to a minute. And you can do that across both shoulders. Then, my favorite, the lacrosse ball. Don't get a kid's ball, get a standard lacrosse ball. And you can always stop in our office and get one at any time in New York City. But lacrosse ball is just great because you can travel with this, you can stick it in your bag. All you need is a ball and a wall, okay? So with the ball, I'm gonna show you how to hit some really common trigger points with headaches, which are right back here. Occipital tension headaches get relieved really fast with this ball. So any kind of tension headache you have, you want to lay on your back, use don't go on your bed, lay down on the floor with a carpet or a yoga mat, something somewhat firm, okay? And you're just gonna lay back and you're gonna put the ball, kind of tuck your chin in, flatten your neck, and put the ball right underneath the ridge on the back of the head and the skull. And you'll find that you may have trigger points out wide all along that occipital ridge. And then there are 2 occipital condyles in the middle. Those are really commonly tender and tight. And you just rest your head right on top. If you have long hair, make sure you pull your hair up in a bun up on the top of your head. Get the hair out of the way. For me, unfortunately, I don't have that problem. But you could also turn your head 5-10 degrees and kind of work that tender spot, that trigger point out until it alleviates, until it goes away. And again, that can take up to a minute sometimes. And you move the ball to the next spot. And again, you want to tuck your chin down and kind of flatten your neck onto the ball, okay? And if you have a lot of hair there, it can get a little slippery. The ball tends to slip out. So pull that hair up out of the way. And one warning, don't do this for too long the first few times. Work your way into it because these tendons get really inflamed if you don't take a break. So the first time, just do a minute on each spot till it goes away and you can go across the whole occipital ridge. But just a minute on each spot and then wait till the next day as long as it's not sore. Sometimes you might have to take a few days off from it because it gets sore. Now, let's show you how to stretch all these muscles from your upper back, your neck, all the way down to your lower back with this lacrosse ball. Okay, now you're gonna get a nice empty wall space and you're gonna take the ball and place it right behind the shoulder, right in between where the spine is and your shoulder blade. So those rotator cuff muscles right in here. You're gonna stick the ball right there, cross your arms in front of you, and the further your feet are away from the wall, the more pressure there is on the ball. So if this is not a deep enough massage and trigger point release, then move the feet out away from the wall a little bit further. And you're gonna cross the arms and you're just gonna do a shallow squat. So you just wanna do a 15 to 20 degree knee bend. Otherwise your knees and legs get really tired afterwards. And then to do the lower rotator cuff muscles, you'll see here, I just lower the ball a little bit and I'm just gonna roll it right in there. You can also do this on the ground or on a yoga mat, but it's a little bit intense that way. So I think you're better off starting this way and then graduating to to doing this on the floor. And then you can take the ball and bring it further out here to target some of the other rotator cuff muscles. And you'll turn your feet at a 45-degree angle away from the wall. And in this area, you can go in a circular motion, an up and down motion, back and forth. And you're gonna find it. There's gonna be a spot in there right in the corner of the back of your shoulder blade, the back of your armpit, that's gonna be really sensitive. Okay, now that we've gone over the lax ball and the back knobber, we're gonna go over two more things. Now, ART, everybody's heard of ART. ART is called active release technique. ART is really effective for loosening muscle tension. Now, I'm gonna teach you how to do ART on your own. Most physical therapists and chiropractors do ART. So you're gonna be able to do it on your own. Here's how. So, if you have a shirt and your skin gets irritated easily, you might wanna keep that shirt on and use the collar to reduce some of the irritation. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna sit down and you're gonna take your 3 fingers and you're gonna take the flat surface of the fingers and you're gonna apply pressure on the neck and a tissue pull down. So you're gonna apply medium amount of pressure and then pull on the tissue down on your neck. And when you do that, you're also gonna tilt your head down like this, laterally, so your ear is down to the floor. So here's how we do it. So you do the tissue pull and pull your head down at the same time. And then you keep your hands still here and lift your head and your ear to the opposite shoulder and look up towards that upper corner there. So let's do that again. You're gonna take all 3 fingers and you'll see here I'm taking my other hand just to hold my hand here and apply a little bit more pressure. You don't need to do that. You can do it with one hand and you can just do this short motion. And you do about 10 repetitions here. And it might be a little bit painful. And you can also take your hands out further out here and do the same thing. Just to get a little bit of a different muscle group. That's called ART, and that'll help alleviate the SCM muscle and might help alleviate some jaw tension that you have and some neck pain and headaches as well. Then the next thing, or the last tip I have, you're gonna see a lot of videos out there that already discuss this, so I'm not gonna dive too far into it, but it's pressure points, right? So we already went over 1 pressure point, or excuse me, 2 on the back of the head here. And some people have more than 2 trigger points on the back of the head along the occiput. But those trigger points are great for tension headaches. But what about something like a sinus headache, okay? So here's some other trigger points for a sinus headache. You have pressure point right here, right where the bridge of the nose and the forehead meet. You'll feel a ridge right there, and sometimes it'll be sensitive, and you can apply a light pressure. It doesn't have to be heavy. You can also use menthol. Dip your fingers in menthol, that helps too. And then right on the inside of the eyebrows here, you'll feel a little ridge, like a little indent. And that right there is a really great point for somebody that suffers from sinus headaches. And you'll notice when you do this, you'll be able to breathe out of your nose easier. And here's another sinus point. Right at the bottom of the nostril, go out about an inch or ½ inch, I would say. And you'll feel where the cheek, the ridge, the bone ridges in there, right there on that ridge. And again, you might feel this is tender, especially if you suffer from sinus headaches or sinus congestion. One way to know is if you have sinus congestion and you have a headache, you may have a sinus headache, okay? But if it doesn't go away with these points, do all the other stretches and make all the other changes to your posture that I had mentioned. So you've got one here on the inside of the eyebrow, one sinus point here, Got another one right here in between the thumb and index finger, and oftentimes you'll feel it really tender there in that web, and you can pinch that. Last but not least, the occipital points I feel are the best, especially when you're dealing with tension headaches. I hope this helps. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video, and a little shameless promotion here. Please give us a thumbs up. It's what keeps us going. It's what keeps these videos going, and we really appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe and have a great day.